Welcome back to Voice 101 Series 1, Learning with Dr. B. Now that we all know why singing is fabulous, let's learn some basics about how to read your music. Your music will now be referred to as a score. How to read what is on the page is called music literacy. We see signs every day, street signs, signs in buildings and shops, stores, and in our cars. Our lives are full of signs. If we can't read them, we aren't allowed to drive a car or do many other daily tasks we take for granted. Learning to read signs in music is necessary so that you are not lost during the learning process and so that you can talk to other musicians, like your choir director, in an intelligent way. Let's get started. The next slide is a sheet of music. How many signs do you recognize? How many symbols do you see that tell you something about how to sing this song? There are at least 16 signs on this piece of sheet music. Can you find them all? What key is it in? How fast does it go? How many beats per measure? Where are the measures? Is there a repeat? What are all those notes with no words in it? If I can't read music, I can't answer those questions. So here we go. Number 1, that's a time signature. Number 2, this is an eighth note. Number 3, this is a treble clef. Number 4, this is a measure line. Number 5, this is a bass clef. Number 6, this is a flat and gives you the key. Number 7, this is the A space on the clef. Number 8, this is a 16th note. Number 9, this is a syllable dash. When you sing one word and it's broken up into 2 syllables and you sing it on 2 different notes, that's how you know you're not singing nonsense syllables, but instead a word. Number 10, this is where the refrain begins every single time. Number 11, this is a chord name for guitar. Number 12, this is a dotted quarter note. Number 13, this is a tie. Number 14, this is a measure number. Number 15, this is the grand staff. Number 16, this is an eighth rest. There are a lot of symbols on this one page. Makes me tired. So now you're going to take out your notation and your vocabulary worksheets, and we're going to begin learning and memorizing these terms together. You see, there are hundreds of music symbols that a musician can spend their entire lifetime learning. Each instrument, genre, style, language, culture has its own set of unique symbols. But for our purposes as beginning singers, we will concentrate on the symbols you are most likely to see in a vocal score or on what we call sheet music. Here are the list of symbols used in today's discussion. The staff, clefs, the grand staff, measures, notes, notes on the staff, ledger lines, note durations, dotted notes, rests, accidentals, ties and slurs, articulation, dynamics, repeats, and time signatures. So here's what the staff looks like. It is the basis for all written music. It is what the notes are presented on. It consists of 5 lines with 4 spaces between them. A simple, unadorned staff is shown below. An easy way to remember how many spaces and how many lines is to look at your hand. Put it in front of your face. Turn it sideways, and boom, 5 lines, 4 spaces. Who knew? On the staff can be several kinds of clefs, but for our purposes we will look at two kinds. Singers generally use treble and bass clefs, and those symbols look like this. This is called the grand staff. You will know it by the large bracket on its side and that it is joined by a line just to the left side as well. This is usually what a piano score looks like, or a choral score. In the case of a mixed voice choral score, the highest voices, usually the women, sing on the top lines. The lowest voices, and sometimes men, sing on the bottom. The vertical lines on the staff mark the measures. Measures are used to divide and organize music. The thick double bar mark that marks the beginning and ends of a piece of music. Measures are sometimes marked with numbers to make navigating a piece easier. The first measure would be measure 1, the second measure, measure 2, and so on. Different pitches are named by letters. The musical alphabet is in ascending order by pitch, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. After G, the cycle repeats, going back to A. There is no H, J, K, Z, Y. It's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Each line in space on the staff represents a different pitch. The lower on the staff, the lower the pitch of the note. Notes are represented by little ovals on the staff. Depending on the clef, the position of each note on the staff corresponds to a letter name. Cute little trick here. Take your hand, put it in front of your face, thumb towards the ceiling, pinky parallel with the ground. The space between your fingers actually spells face, F-A-C-E. Now all you have to do is name your fingers. Pinky, E, space F. Next finger, G, space A. Next finger, B, space C. Next finger, D, space E. Next finger, F. Pretty cool, huh? Notes are centered on the lines or in the spaces between the lines. Stems on notes above the middle line trail down from the left of the note. Stems on the notes below the middle line stick up on the right of the note. Just remember that the lines that connect the ovals don't want to go above the staff or too far below. That's how you know which way the line should go. Note stems are usually 1 octave, and an octave means 8 successive lines and spaces. So from A to A is an octave. When 2 melodies occupy the same staff, the stems for the notes in one melody are written up, and the stems for the notes in the other are written down. This will become easier as you do it. Don't let it overwhelm you. Ledger lines. What happens when notes get up above our staff or our fingers? We use ledger lines. This allows for higher or lower notes to be shown than would otherwise fit on a staff. These lines follow the same musical alphabet. Think of them as just extra lines and spaces. That's all. The stems of notes on ledger lines extend either up or down towards the middle line. Remember our alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Note durations. All notes have length. However, the number of beats they get depends on the time signature, so only relative note durations will be discussed here. And what I mean when I say all notes have length, we are referring to time, not something you draw. So when I say all notes have length, it means all notes take up time and space in music. Some notes are longer than others. This graphic shows a hierarchy of note values. At the top is a whole note. A half note is the half of the duration of a whole note. That's number 2. Number 3 are quarter notes. Notice there are 4 to every whole note. Number 4, eighth notes. 8 to every eighth note. And number 5, 16th notes. 16 to every whole note. 16th notes and eighth notes may look like this. Single 16th and eighth notes have flags. many 16th and 8th notes combine flags into connecting bars. Those two notes on the left, 8th notes. Those two notes on the right, 16th notes. 16th notes and 8th notes may also combine together. The combination looks like the picture to the left. A dot beside a note increases its duration by half of its original value. For example, half notes in 4/4 time are worth 2 beats. When a dot is placed next to the half note, the duration is increased by 1. 1 being half of the original duration of 2, and the resulting duration is 3 beats. The curved line in the picture above is a tie. Ties connect notes that are on the same pitch, and this creates a sustained note, a note of length. Who knew? Music is math. Rests. Rests are simply places where the musician does not play or sing. Rests have equivalent values to corresponding notes of duration. Thus, there is a whole rest, a half rest, a quarter rest, just like your notes. Rests are always located in the same vertical position. Whole note equals a whole rest. Quarter note equals quarter note and quarter rest. Half note and a half rest. You might remember that half rest because it looks like a hat. Hat and half start with H. 8th note and the 8th rest. Both have the little flag, one flag. 16th notes and 16th rests. 16th note, 2 flags, 16th rest, 2 flags. Accidentals modify the pitch of a note by increasing or decreasing it by 1/2 step. Accidentals stay in effect for all notes of the same pitch for the rest of the measure. When these same symbols appear at the very beginning of the music, they are specifying a key signature. Naturals cancel out any previous sharps or flats. The pitch returns to normal. Flats lower the pitch of the note by 1/2 step. Sharps raise the pitch of the note by 1/2 step. Ties and slurs connect 2 or more notes together. Ties connect notes of the same pitch, forming essentially one longer note. The one in the example would equal how many beats or duration. Slurs smoothly connect notes of different pitch. This means to play the notes without breaks. The first set of notes above exhibit a tie. The second show a slur. Slurs also refer to the musical term legato, which means to bind together in Italian. Musicians that are not Italian think of it as singing smoothly. Articulation marks are things like staccato, which means to play the note very short. Accent means to hit the note harder or sing it louder. Sforzando, a sudden, strong accent. Marcato, also a combination of staccato and accent provides a sharp sound. Tenuto, hold the note for its full value, and fermata, hold the note longer, approximately half again as long, or until the conductor says to stop. You may notice that I did those terms in a little bit of an accent. That's because those terms are Italian. This symbol is forte. It means play loudly. This symbol is fortissimo. It means play very loudly. Also, an abbreviated crescendo, or written in as crescendo. This sign is the crescendo sign, and it means to gradually become louder. This sign is decrescendo, and it means to gradually become softer. This symbol is pianissimo, which means to play very softly. This symbol is piano. It means to play softly. This symbol is mezzo piano, and it means to play moderately soft. This symbol is mezzo forte, and it means to play moderately loud. Repeats. Basic repeat is 2 dots in front of double bar lines. Remember how we said double bar lines ends the piece? Not if you see these 2 dots. Other kinds of repeats: 2 dotted places, repeat where the first set of dots appear. Segno means sign in Italian, or when you see dots, go to the sign. Coda means you see dots, go to the coda. In most vocal music, you will see this kind of a repeat. Dots indicate you go back to the beginning, and then after the first time, you go to the second ending, the number 2, where the double bar will tell you that the song is finished. Time signatures. Time signatures are at the beginning of every staff and tell the singer or player how many beats to expect in the measure. How to count these beats. The top number tells you how many beats. The bottom number tells you what note gets 1 full beat. So when you see 3/2, our beat duration is by half notes, which means we'll have 3 half notes to every measure. 3/4. 4 means a quarter note, which means you'll have 3 beats to every measure, and the quarter note will get the beat. 3/8. There will be 3 eighth notes to every measure, and the 8th note gets the beat. 3/16. 3 beats to a measure, and the 16th note gets the beat. Now that we're end of Module 2, go check out your flashcards, your worksheets, and your vocabulary. Get it all done because there's a quiz. Enjoy!